cost of buying a house has literally shot through the roof. Over the weekend, FHA VA mortgages climbed to 13.5% interest. Conventional loans now carry from 14 to 14.75% interest.
You can afford less and less of a house as the mortgage rates go up, because a mortgage company looks at your total monthly spendable income and will figure a certain percent of that is allowable as a housing expense. And for every point that mortgage interest goes up, that's a little less of a home that they'll qualify you for.
Another way of putting it is that the higher the mortgage interest rate, the fewer number of people who can afford to buy a home. But the current economic situation presents a real dilemma to the potential home buyer. If you buy now, your monthly payments will be high. But if you wait, the cost of housing continues to rise.
If we continue to have housing price appreciation like we're having it right now, which is in excess of 18.5% a year, in 4.5 years, the average price of a home is going to be nearly $150,000. And waiting for mortgage rates to drop is not going to help you enough to make that wait worthwhile.
Salespeople say the high interest rates are taking a bite out of their business, but they also say it's better to buy now than wait for rates to go down.
Well, naturally, it's slowing the market down, and through history, it's always seemed to do that kind of thing. But then as you look back at it, you realize that those times were still a good time to buy a home, because the inflation rate keeps increasing the price of homes year after year. Interest rates are a negotiable situation where you can go back later, and if that situation improves, refinance the loan to secure that lower interest rate. Sales prices, unfortunately, never go back.
Housing officials say they don't expect the high interest rates to fall much until the inflation rate dips below 10%. It's currently just over 12% nationally. Peter Van Sant, Cool News 10.
Except for the items on sale, there were no great price differences this month. Celery climbed 34 cents, but only after going off sale this month. It went back to its average price of 59 cents. Two items that went on sale were eggs and bread. Both dropped 25 cents. Tomatoes weren't on sale, but they did drop 10 cents this month, from 59 to 49 cents. The only price change in the meats department was chicken, which dropped 4 cents to 85 cents a pound. A bar of soap also dropped down 5 cents. The item with the greatest actual price increase was a 6-pack of Coke. It went up 14 cents to $2.09. And not being the peak of the season, the price of grapefruit jumped 10 cents this month to 45 cents apiece. The only other increase was small, 2 cents for frozen orange juice. The price difference at the checkout stand was on the upside by 94 cents over September's total. Phyllis Palacio, Cool News 10.
The new station is number 4, serving the district just north of downtown. It's the result of a consolidation between Old Station 4 and Old Station 8. Both were too small, and growth of the city had made their locations poor.
In the downtown area, although we're closer to the high-rise corridor there, we're a little bit south of where the center of the district is. This way we can respond north or south with the same degree of speed, really.
There's no question this station is new. The landscaping outside isn't even finished yet, and leftover construction material sits next to firefighting equipment. The kitchen equipment is also new, and in some cases mysterious.
Okay, I wish you would, I'm a novice at this, let's see, okay. Fireman tap, okay, punch that.
But it's understandable the firemen were anxious to move in. Construction here started in January of 1979. The firemen were supposed to move in June of 1979, but they didn't actually move in until last Saturday. Old Station 8 was built nearly 40 years ago, with 40 years of tradition. But now that tradition has moved with the firemen.
It was a neighborhood station. Many of the people in this area have come here already to welcome us back into the area, but in another location. So it's kind of like being a member of a family and a community. That's the way that most of the stations view their own districts anyway.
Well, we had pool tables and ping pong tables and stuff, but here it's more help for me because I'm going to advance and be captain, and so I'm going to be studying a lot more, and it's a lot quieter.
So if you can't play pool, you have to study.
Right. No, that's just an option.
But what's not an option to the men here is fighting fires. That's a requirement they say they can fulfill a little more efficiently from their new station. John Kain, Cool News 10.
This smiling cowboy has welcomed many a teenage couple or car full of kids to the Roundup Drive-In in Scottsdale for 25 years. Even the bureaucrats held affection for the Western gentleman.
At the time that the drive-in was built, the city encouraged the building of that sign because it represented the westmost western town type of motif, and it was considered the gateway to Scottsdale.
However, due to economic reasons, the drive-in is closing. Today, outdoor theaters can only make it if there are many screens and very little architectural frills. But the owners of the Roundup don't want to see their trademark hit the dirt. So even though he's a little worn and weary, he's up for sale. Now, this cowboy here was built back in 1955 by a sign company in Mesa. There's over a quarter of a mile of neon lights in this cowboy. What's his sale price today?
On today's market, that sign would probably cost, I think when it was built, it cost a little less than $4,000, and I would say probably on today's market, you'd be looking at close to $30,000.
How much are you charging?
We're really not charging it. We're just taking offers.
So far, they've had nibbles from Scottsdale College and Rawhide. But keep in mind, the city of Scottsdale's highly enforced sign ordinance won't allow this fellow to stand up straight in their town anymore. In the meantime, John Lewis says he hates to see the old boy go down, but he guesses it's just a sign of the times.
The concept of a shopping mall was for convenience, a number of different stores and services all available under one roof. But now that concept has been taken one step further for the ultimate inconvenience, an unbelievable number of services all available under your roof. For example, a whole department store can be found under your roof in the form of a mail-order catalog. Or if you don't want to be seen in public because your hair is such a mess, even to get to the hairdresser, some hairdressers will come to you. Or if Fido or Fifi can't come to the groomer can come to them. Hate going to the grocery store? Well, now there are food plan services that will come right to your freezer door and stock it for you. And if you missed last Sunday's service, don't panic, because even that, like all the rest of these services, is available just by picking up a telephone. It's amazing the number of different services you can get all by telephone. From dial a prayer to dial a ride, pay your bills, plan a party, get legal advice or advice on how to redecorate your home, and there's a whole range of emergency hotlines. And don't worry, if you missed any of those numbers, there's even a telephone service you can call to get them, information and referral services. That number is 263-8856. Misty Chauncey, Cool News 10.
There were a few more bicycles making the trek into Phoenix from Tempe this morning than is usually seen. A good many of them were motorists, fed up with the traffic jams, deciding to ride their bikes into work for the first time. Jim Sublett is a veteran bike rider and teaches bike safety. He has been riding the 8 miles from his home to work for the past 10 years, and what he saw this morning worried him.
What we saw this morning was a little bit shaking because people riding on the left-hand side of the street, no signals, trying to crowd where they think they're safe, and they end up in critical situations.
With bicycles and cars mixing in the streets, Sublett says bicyclists have to learn how to be part of the traffic, and motorists have to learn how to accept them.
There are areas where you have to ride out in traffic, and I think the bridges are one of them where the cyclist is safer actually taking a complete lane of traffic and moving across with the traffic. Most of your traffic is moving about 10, 15 miles an hour on the bridges, so a bicycle can stay right in there without any trouble.
The bicycle is considered a motor vehicle, and as long as you are in traffic, the law says you have to operate it as one, signaling to turn and obeying stop signs and signal lights, and even the speed limit.
Make sure you signal everything you do. If you want to move into a lane of traffic, signal that you want to move into the lane of traffic. I think you'll find that people are willing to accept you to move in there. And make sure your brakes are good. Regardless of anything else that happens, your brakes have to stop you.
Phyllis Palacio, Cool News 10.
The flyer on the condominium says it's a unique, professionally designed and installed audio-visual superpad that even James Bond would be envious of. No, it doesn't have hidden poison pellet guns or ejector seats in the couch, but what it does have would make an audio-visual specialist go crazy. The entire condominium is equipped with the finest, most updated television and stereo equipment. It has a video disc player and videotape machines. And it has a mini studio where somebody with a little know-how could create his own masterpieces in the audio-visual arts.
Then on the second screen, putting together slideshows of vacation, of travels, training sessions for a professional, for training salesmen as an example, and 16 and Super 8 film. It just has everything that you could want for that kind of activity.
The real estate lister says he's never seen a house equipped like this one on the market, so judging by its uniqueness, you'd almost have to ask him who would want to buy the place.
Either the professional or a typical traveler, and so many people live here that travel so much, and that like to put a show together semi-professionally and then show it to church groups or other organizations, professional organizations.
So what's the price of this elaborate setup? A mere $150,000. But if the buyer's not too interested in the electronic frills, it could be bought for as little as $124,500. Lisa Allen, Cool News 10.
The poster on the auditorium wall at Cordova School told the story to the young people who've been coming here this summer. This recreation program would be over at the end of the day and would probably not take place at all next summer, at least in this form. What are you going to do during the afternoon when this place isn't open anymore?
My brother got some Monopoly, me and him can play. And
the program here and at 6 other schools in the Alhambra district is ending because the district decided it had become necessary to charge the city rent for the use of school buildings. The city had been using school facilities for free. This is the second Phoenix school district to start charging the city rent, and the second instance in which the city's recreation program has had to be discontinued. City officials hope it's not developing into a pattern.
I hope that the powers to be have the wisdom and knowledge to decide that it is a viable service, something that should continue, and that the real benefactor of the whole service is the youth of the city of Phoenix.
The city conducts similar programs in 21 other school districts, and these youngsters may still go to one of the other 21 programs. And even though other districts are discussing the idea of requiring the city to pay rent on their school buildings, the city hopes it's an idea whose time has not yet come. John Kain, Cool News 10.